I called my stepdad by his first name for 17 years. Last Tuesday I called him dad and he handed my newborn back to my wife and walked out of the room. My father never left. That would have been simpler. He just kept coming back. Every few months there was a truck in the driveway, a bag of gas station candy, and a promise with a date on it. My mom used to write his visits on the calendar in pen, then pencil. Then she stopped writing them at all. She kept the calendar. She just took him off it. Callum showed up when I was 6. He'd been seeing my mom 2 months before I met him. First time he came over he brought me a fishing rod because my mom told him I liked being outside. I did like being outside. I did not like fish, but he tried. We sat on that bank 4 hours and caught nothing. He hooked the back of his own shirt and spent 10 minutes trying to work out who was pulling on him. I laughed so hard I got the hiccups and he had to carry me back to the truck. He married my mom when I was 7. From the first day I called him Callum. He never once corrected me. Ronnie was dad. Callum was Callum. That was the arrangement and nobody ever wrote it down. My mom brought it up one night when she thought I was asleep. Ronnie missed his birthday. Again, you built him a bed. Callum's voice was quiet but clear. That word's about the only thing Ronnie's got left. Take it off him and the kids down a father, not up one. I never told anybody I was awake. He came to everything. Coaches, teachers, the dentist, all of them would say, "You must be dad." And he'd say, "I'm Callum." Never corrected it toward dad, never corrected it away either. Just, "I'm Callum." Like the title was somebody else's coat and he wasn't going to try it on. When I was 9, Ronnie was supposed to take me to a game. I sat on the porch in the good shirt until it got dark. Callum sat out there with me the whole time and didn't say one word against him. When I finally went in, Callum stayed on the porch another hour, in case. 2 years later I found the tickets in his toolbox drawer. Same game, 2 seats, never scanned. When I was 14, Ronnie came by asking for money. I didn't know that then. My mom told me last year. Callum wrote him a check in the driveway and never brought it up. Not once. Not ever. When my mom asked him why, he said he was going to ask the kid next. When I was 16, Ronnie called me at 1 in the morning from a parking lot 40 minutes out. I woke Callum up. He put his boots on and didn't ask a single question. He drove me there and waited in the truck while I got Ronnie into the back seat. I asked why he wouldn't come in. He said he doesn't need to see me. My mom found out and didn't speak to him for 3 days. He told her he made a judgment call. He never said it was my idea. He slept on the couch and let her think it was him. 2 years ago I got married. Ronnie showed up and sat in the front row because Ronnie always shows up for the part with the chairs. Callum sat in the second row, directly behind him, and never said a word about it. During the vows, I looked out and Callum had his glasses off. He was cleaning them with his tie. He cleaned them for a very long time. Ronnie left before dinner. Callum stacked chairs until 1 in the morning. 3 weeks ago, my wife went into labor 5 weeks early. I called Callum from the parking garage. He drove 9 hours. When he got to the floor, the nurse stopped him at the doors and asked if he was family. He said, "I'm Callum." She said, "Sir, family only." And he said, "Okay." He said, "Okay." And he turned around and he sat down in the hallway. I came out looking for him 20 minutes later and he was in a plastic chair with his hands between his knees. 9 hours of driving still in his face, waiting for somebody to give him permission. I said to the nurse, "He's my dad. Let him in." Callum looked at the floor. That night, I put my son in his arms. He held him like the kid was made of glass and paperwork. I said, "Hold his head, Dad." He looked at me for 3 seconds. Then he handed my son back to my wife, very carefully, and he walked out. He went into the family bathroom at the end of the hall and shut the door. I followed him. I could hear him through it. Not quiet, the kind where your whole body shakes. I stood there with my hand flat against that door and listened to a man wait 17 years for one word and then need a locked room to hear it in. He came out after 5 minutes, eyes red. He said, "You didn't have to do that. I told your mother a long time ago. That word's his. I never needed it." I said, "I was awake. I heard you say it. I was 7. You didn't have anything for that." I said, "You told her if I left it with him I'd have 2. Callum, I only ever had 1. He put his hand on the back of my neck the way he did on that porch and he stood there until he could breathe. Then he went back in and took my son out of my wife's arms without asking anybody. He's been holding him for 40 minutes. He hasn't asked for permission once.